Alright, it's your boy Starko J. If you didn't know now, you know. And as you can tell from the title, this is gonna be like my new way of well, you can't really just tell from the title, but it's gonna be my new way of trying to do character analysis. Now, within that, I always like to add my own little personal opinion. I used to like, add my own little personal opinion at the end of the characters. So now I'm just gonna be mixing a lot of them with, facts about the character and with, a lot of my personal opinions. So it's pretty much just gonna be my take on the character, and I'll probably just give you a lot of background and stuff like that, explain what series they from with the characters and stuff like that. But this title is my take on Nagito komeada. Now, I put a spoiler thing in there, so please, if you have not seen any of the or played any of the Danganronpa games, you will be severely spoiled. And if you haven't, what are you waiting for? So, characters respective series. So the series that Nagito komeada comes from is a Danganronpa series. More specifically, the second game and the Danganronpa 3 anime. That's where, the Danganronpa series. So that's where he's mostly in during that time of the series. So as far as backgrounds, Nagito is our, you know, super high school level lucky student. That's what I'm going with. That's what I'm going with. Our lucky student. He is mostly prominent in the second game for mainly his involvement throughout the whole entire game. But on first glance, he's pretty much that character that is nice to us. We're supposed to trust. Other than that, there's not really much that much to his background away from some of the stuff that I was actually, gonna get into a little bit later. But for his main background, he was a student at Holy Peak Academy that ended up becoming an utter despair after after what happened to Chiakin. I'm just going based off the 3 anime with that. So, and then was forced to be entered into a simulation, which was Danganronpa 2, to where they could have erase their despair with pretty much the opposite of what Junko did to them. So basically, that's pretty much his background. So, for me to go in and speak, what this is where I'm gonna go from here. The thing I really liked about Nagito was how well he was written throughout each and every single case in the game, and each as far as the game progressed. Now, my thing with him being in Danganronpa is majority of the characters in Danganronpa are good in the series, are really just really good, especially if you get their free time events. But what I really just enjoyed about Nagito is probably one of those characters that weren't really one dimensional if you didn't know anything about him. Like, you can still learn from Margaret, you can still complete his free time events and stuff like that, and you'll still learn a little bit more about him, how his personality became to be and stuff like that. But also, he does a lot in the story where it feels like that is just extra information to know about him. So with the most of the Danganronpa cast, if you don't know much about them, they just are one-dimensional characters. They act a certain way. Until the first series, which I will get on that a little bit later in its own separate video. But majority of them are like one-dimensional characters. When I say that, I don't mean that they're bad. Like, once you know a lot more about them, like I said with the free time events, they are better characters in the sense they all can be looked at as great protagonists in their own, way. But for Nagito, he was pretty much the only person that, like I said, with the free time events, his free time events just seemed extra on to his character. He was just such a great character, where he affected Danganronpa 2. And like I like to say, like I like to say about Nagito, is that Nagito really made the second game that much more interesting. When you think about it, a lot of stuff, he was the one who set the killings in motion with, he was the main one that got it rolling. And nobody really just knows his, he says the create a better hope, and stuff like that. But no, like, his true feelings are something that we would never really just know, really. You know what I mean? So, he kind of was one of those characters that you either love or you either hate, which I'm glad that that's how he was supposed to be written. the thing about it, if you go to anybody that really has played the second game, some people would nobody would ever just say that he was just all right, or you know I really didn't like him but I really didn't hate him, so he's in the middle. It's either you get 50% people who actually absolutely love Nagito and think he's the one of the or you get those people that really just hate him to like hate him guts and stuff like that. And I'm one of the latter. I really just love Nagito. Like I said, I love how he touched the second game, and I just I don't. His philosophy was just so it was twisted, and it was so good at the same time. The way he was explaining it, the way that everything made sense, the way that he was ahead of ahead of everybody else. Like, let's be honest, without Nagito there, the case of the fourth game would have been like impossible. Like, without him being there to be like, oh yeah, I did this and do that. Even though he tried to get them to understand, he was the only person smart enough to actually do something like that other than Gundam. But for me, he just touched the game so much and made it so much a better game. When you think about it, like after coming out the first game, it was not this, it's like you knew the drill of the second game, but Nagito made everything so unpredictable. Like I said, I'm not saying he was the only one that did that, but for a majority of the game, he was pretty much the main catalyst for a lot of the situations, and he was the main catalyst for people actually wanting to replay the game anyway. Because, like I said, like with Nagito's character, a lot of people who think a certain way might not, see stuff behind his character. Like, there's always, like, for me, when I think about certain things Nagito had done and certain things that Nagito, has had actions going to, there's something that's always made me think that this is probably the only way he can think now. It's probably something deeper within him that makes him, makes him actually scared, but the only way he can go through these things and make it is believing that hope will shine through, hope will get them through. And the more despair there is, there's bound to be hope there anyway. Like I said, when people usually, talk about Nagito being crazy, I kind of think about him being a, Makoto's and Junko's love child because of the way he's at with the craziness of Junko and the hope of, Nagi, you know, you know, Makoto. So I really just enjoy him for that. Other than that, for his character in specific, is that he's really just an amazing character. Like, you can hate him all you want to, but you cannot sit here and say that he was a bad character at all. Especially from, coming up from the first game, there wasn't really just many characters that stand out. And Nagito chose to stand out a lot more, like 10 times more than any of the characters in Danganronpa 1, which was kind of a refreshing take. Like, not, like I said, not saying that the characters are bad in Danganronpa 1. It was just like a refreshing sight to see somebody actually have this absurd way of thinking and absurd way of going about things to make something that seemed like something Makoto would enjoy, but make it something so twisted. Like, you know what I mean? But like, that has been pretty much my take on, Nagito. I have more, like, if you like this video and you agree, you can, leave a thumbs up and, stuff. But like I said, this is pretty much my opinion. A lot of people have different opinions. That's what makes us human. If you disagree, you can feel free to leave your comments in the description. The next Danganronpa cover character I am thinking of doing is Kokichi Oma. Now, be on the lookout for that, but like I said, if you like this video, leave it a like. If you're new to this, new to this channel, can you please subscribe? Any support will help your boy out. Like I said, if you disagree, it's really my opinion, but I would obviously love to hear yours down in the comments. So, this is your boy Stark OJ. Peace.